Welcome to the Chiefs Way. Now mash that subscribe button or drop and give me 50!
Disclaimer, I purchased this with my own money. It was not sent to me for free, but in the description you'll find a link and a discount code which will save you 15% off your first purchase from Oupes. Today we're looking at the Oupes 1800. I like this model. I think it's the best bang for your buck. You can run just about everything you think you can, and it's a lot less expensive than some of the other brands. If you've seen, watch another video I did about, I was trying to run a washer and dryer, a washing machine and a gas dryer with a Jackery 500 and a Jackery 1000, and they ran the washer fine, but I couldn't get them to run the dryer. And it's a gas dryer, but what I discovered is this gas dryer on the startup surges about 35 amps, and they couldn't do it, but the Oupes 1800 can do it. Because once we get into a little bit of the stats, you'll see why. Okay, so let's turn it on. It's easy. You just hold the power button for 3 seconds and it'll turn on. Okay, we got 3 power outlets, okay, that add up to 1800 watts. And you turn them on by the little button on the bottom. Okay, we hear the fan come on, and we can see down here it says AC, so the AC is on. Okay, we have 2 inputs. You can input 200 watts each. So you put if you have 2 of their 200 watt charging bricks, you can put 1 in each one and charge at 400 watts, or you can put 200 watts of solar and 200 watts of solar in the other one. Okay, over on this side we got the typical, cigarette lighter charging port, 12 volts, got some 5.5 millimeter 12 volts. But down here is where it gets pretty nice. It's got a USB-C 60 watt and a USB 18 watt. So you can hook your laptops up to there. And it's also got a couple quick charging ports. And again, the power button for the DC is here on the bottom. Turn it on. You'll see it says the car port is on and the DC is on. So we can turn those off, and we can turn off our AC. Okay, so let's go to the book. Okay, you see it has an 1800 watt inverter, but this is the real impressive thing. Its surge is 4000 watts. That's why I can surge up that 35 amps and get that gas dryer running. Okay, because typically you'll find in most of these power stations, if it's 1000 watts, it'll surge to 2000 watts. If it's 2000 watts, it'll surge to 4000 watts. But this one is 1800, so using that, conventional thinking, it would only surge up to 3600. But they've made it surge all the way up to 4000, so we can get that dryer running. And another impressive thing is the size of the battery. Battery is 1488 watt hours. Okay, so that means this is actually slightly larger than a 12 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery, because a 100 amp hour battery is going to be 1280 watts. Okay, 1280 watt hours, and this one is 1488, so it's slightly larger, and it is a lithium iron phosphate battery, which is nice. So you get like 2000 cycles on it. It's a heavy little bugger, but you get a much longer life. Like in the Jackery, they use the lithium ion batteries. It's slightly lighter, but you don't get as many life cycles. Just like all other videos of power stations, you see this one has a light on the back. It's got 3 settings. There's low, high, and SOS, which if you're ever in trouble, you put that in your front window and flash SOS, and if any first responders in the area, they might see that. Okay, let's see if it'll run this full-size Shark vacuum cleaner. All right, let's turn it on. Pulling 8, 9, around 800 watts. So let's go here and let's vacuum a little bit. Okay, it's running. Still pulling right around 800 watts. So it will run a large vacuum. Okay, will it run a full-size Bissell carpet cleaner? Let's find out. Squeeze the trigger. Make sure the pump runs. Well, that's not a good number. Take a let go of the trigger. Nope, didn't change it. So, I'm not going to say it, but you can see how many watts it's pulling. And back to 0. All right, will it run a full-size GE microwave? Okay, we got a old worn-out Navy Chief coffee cup in there that's had a lot of use. It's going to input 1.58 kilowatts, so basically 1.6 kilowatts to output 1,000 watts. So we'll be looking for 1.5 kilowatts on the meter. So got the cable coming out, got it hooked up. Let's turn on the AC. And there it is. See what happens here. All right, microwave booting up. All right, as soon as it boots up, we'll have to set the calendar. So it says, please set the clock, input the time. It is now 5:04 p.m. Okay. We do got our cup in there. So now, let's go ahead and put it on for 30 seconds, see what happens. All right, there it goes. It's counting down. See how much power we pull here. We're looking for around 1.5-ish. Okay. All right, there we go. 1,541 watts, 42 watts, right around there. Oh, timed out. 1544. Still counting down. See our old worn out coffee cup in there. Okay, it's ended. Put it up. Yep, it's warm. I mean, it's not super hot. It was only in there for 30 seconds, but it is warm. And look at that cup. Cup has got lots of use on it. All right, so it's a win. It will run a full-size microwave. Will it run a single-serve coffee maker? All right, let's turn it on. All right, the coffee maker turns on and boots up. Let's make the 10 ounces. Okay, starting to do something here. We're at 1,002 watts. Right around 1,000 watts to make a single cup of coffee. You know, those Chiefs love their coffee. Alright, I'm not going to bore you with making a cup of coffee here, but turn it back on. See, we're still pulling just under 1,000 watts, and it's still making coffee. So I would say this is a pass. Will it run a dehumidifier? Okay, we got this GE dehumidifier here. It's a pretty good size one. So let's plug it in and see if we can get it to run. Okay, we plug it in. Right away we heard it beep, so let's turn it on. Okay, there it's running. But the compressor hasn't turned on yet. That's just a fan, because we see we're only pulling 60 watts. So the test is going to be if we can get the compressor to turn on. Right, I think this guy's heard something. It's just turned on. Now we're pulling around 400, around 370 to 400 watts there, and it's kind of stabilizing. So far it's doing pretty good. But we got it on medium. Let's go up to high. Oh, there's low. There's high. You can hear the fan has kicked up. And now we're pulling around 450, to around 450 watts. So, I think that's a pass. The Oupes will run this size of GE dehumidifier. Will it run a paper shredder? Let's find out. Turn it on. Okay. Got a small stack of paper here. Let's get it so it'll go in there. You see it's going? Alright, that was a good stack of papers, and we see it maxed out a little over 300 watts. So will it run a paper shredder? Sure will. Can the Oupes 1800 wash and dry your clothes? This is a gas dryer, so the only electricity is to make it tumble, which has a 35 amp surge when it starts up. So this is going to be a good test for the Oupes 1800. Okay, we're all on, ready to go. Got some laundry in there. Let's get started. Okay, we can see it's filling up. And we're only drawing very little current now. So we'll come back and check on it later. Okay, it's spinning now and it's pulling around 160 watts. Okay, it's in its final spin now and it's really starting to get fast. You looked at, we're up over 220, 30, 240. Probably maxing out around 240, and it's gonna, go up and down as it controls its speed. So when it's done, we'll check back and we'll see how much power it used, and then we'll get it drying. Okay, that load of wash is done. We can see we used up just about 10% of our battery. So now we're going to get the laundry switched over to the dryer, and this is where the fun's going to start. Okay, we got that load in the dryer. Got it set on the automatic dry cycle. Okay, so we'll see over here if we can see what it'll do when I push the button. Okay, it started it up. See, it kind of went up to like 900-ish, and now it's going down and it's just moving. But the meter is slow to react. I put a ammeter on this circuit that is plugged into the wall and put it on peak, and it peaked out at 35 amps to start this dryer. So that's this Oupes is a monster. It has a 1800 watt inverter and a peak of 4,000 surge. So it uses every bit of the surge of this unit to get this dryer going. Okay, the dryer's still running now. Just kind of stabilized out. You can see we're pulling about 250 watts. So I got another load of laundry in here. So let's see if it'll wash and dry at the same time. Sure it will, because we only saw the washer get up around 240 anyway, so this has 1800s. But what you can't do is you can't try to start your dryer with the washer running. If I needed to start that dryer right now, I need to shut off the washer, okay, remove that power, that way the total surge could get this dryer going. Okay, so can it wash and dry your clothes? It certainly can. On a side note, we've now we washed 2 loads and dried 2 loads, and we used 45% of the battery. Okay, will it run this 22 cubic foot Kenmore refrigerator? Let's find out. Okay, we plugged it in, and there goes the wattage is going up. Just plugging it in, I think it's going to go up pretty high. Well, no, it didn't. It went up a couple hundred, and now it's back down to 0. Compressor hasn't kicked on yet. So let's open the door for a while. Okay, door's open, the light's on. So we are pulling 102 watts with the lights on. Huh. Seems like an awful lot. It's got a couple bulbs in there. Okay. Open up the freezer for a little bit. Okay, so now with the freezer open and the freezer light on, it only uses 53 watts. Okay, it's closed now. It's pulling no wattage right now, so the compressor hasn't turned on yet. So here, let me get a compressor running and we'll come right back. Okay, we got the compressor running. It's pulling 132 watts right now. But what you got to watch out with in these modern refrigerators is they have a defrost cycle that'll go through time after time, and it'll pull 980 watts. I've seen that before when I've had this hooked up. So will the Oupes 1800 run your 2200 square foot refrigerator? Sure will. All right, will it run your big old hair dryer? Let's find out. Hey, we got it turned on. AC's on. So it's on hot, and let's put it up on high. It's on hot and high. Okay. So let's see what it does. At 1350 watts. Okay. And it says it'll run that for 5 hours. Oh, now it's down to 2. It's recalculating. Okay. But will it run your hair dryer? Sure will. Let's find out if it'll run your tower fan. So So let's turn it on. And we got it set on high. And it's power cool. And we'll get the rotation going. Okay, it's running and it's rotating. And astonishingly, it only pulls about 21 watts. So, I mean, right now it says you could run this fan on a hot day in a power outage for more than 41 hours. On a full, oh, it's counting down still. We're down to 35, but you could run this for a long time at 21 watts. So will it run your fan? Sure will. All right, recharging this unit is pretty easy too. Since I have two of them, you can plug in both bricks, and with both bricks plugged into it, you can charge this at 374 watts, which will recharge it from zero in about 4 hours. So you can see you can run every appliance you need in your house during a power outage with this Oupes 1800. I have two of them, so during a long power outage where the power is going to be out for an extended period of time, I'll have one permanently on the kitchen counter, powering the microwave and the coffee pot and other utensils in the kitchen, and the other one will be hooked up to the washer and dryer so we can keep doing our washing and drying during the power outage. And they'll be plugged into the wall on the main emergency power system that's powering all the outlets with a timer plug. So at certain times of the day, it'll turn on and recharge these boxes during the power outage. And it didn't get it recorded this time, but I also used it hooked up to the furnace, and it will run your furnace, but you need to have an adapter that plugs in that will the ground connect the ground and the neutral together, because this doesn't have a permanent ground on it. So if you like this item, and I certainly do, and it's real reasonable for the amount of power you get, look down in the description and you'll see a link and a code. That code will get you 15% off your first item. So, go to the link, and when you check out, put in that code and you'll get 15% off this power station. All right, if you like this content, please like and subscribe, and solar on.